The number one thing that you really need to avoid if you want to be a psychic or you want to pursue the spirituality and go into the manifestation or do the tarot reading or any kind of witchcraft, any kind of magic, the number one thing that you gotta avoid, I can tell you based on my own experience, and I think that there are so many people who could tell them based on their experiences. So I'm gonna talk about that. Let's dive in. Hey guys, welcome on this channel. We talk a lot about magic stuff, esotericism stuff, spirituality, manifestation, witchcraft, and all that crazy and amazing stuff. If you enjoyed it, give it a thumbs up, consider subscribing for more such videos. Anyways, let's dive in. What is the thing you gotta avoid? The thing is that do not waste your precious time thinking that what somebody else is thinking about you. I mean it. When I say it, I mean it. Because when you believe in the magic stuff, when you started being delusional, becoming unrealistic, daydreaming, believing in the angels, believing in the spirit guides, and all that crazy stuff for the normal average woman, you might share with your friends or maybe not. But if you share and if your friends don't believe in those things, it's gonna be really hard for you to convince them that these things really exist. You're gonna waste your time convincing them, plus they might actually tell you something that you may not be liking it. They're like, okay, you gotta be realistic, you gotta be practical, being delusional is not okay, you gotta pay your bills and all that stuff, which you don't want to hear it. So one thing I'm going to tell you, keep all these things with you. You don't have to go in the world and tell that you're psychic or you do all these things and you believe in that and all that stuff. No, no, no. You gotta keep these things to yourself, and even if somebody knows it somehow, even if you didn't tell them but they notice you, or you do something and they come across your stuff and they're like, what the heck is she doing? If you're journaling, your diary is on the table and somebody comes and look at your diary, just giving you random examples, and they look at your script writing when you're not there in your room or you were somewhere else, and then they say what you were doing in the diary, what did you write and all that stuff, and they criticize and judging you. Stop giving your time, your energy, your power to the people who didn't understand these things. You're not here to convince people, you're not here to please people. You are here to live your life. You're here to focus on who you are here and why you are here. And once you focus who you are, you're gonna get to know why you are here. Because when you know who you are, it gets easy to understand why you are here. Because most of the people think that they are this body, they are the thoughts, they are the ego, they are a husband, wife, daughter. No. These are just the 3D versions of you, and you have so many different parallel versions of you, so many different parallel realities, and this is just the one thing that you're focusing on. You are not this identity anymore. You're way more beyond that. You gotta realize that. For that, you don't need to think about what someone else is thinking about you, especially if you're doing something in public. Like I do something like that, like I walk down the street or go to the mountain or river, like being in the nature, recording videos and talking and all that stuff. Sometimes the people look at me and they're like, what the heck she is doing? And they didn't tell me anything, but then I look at their eyes, the way they look at me, and I feel a little bit weird in the beginning when I was recording videos in the nature. Okay, you YouTuber or an influencer or content creator, whatever. But then I talk about the topics and which they are like, oh, she's talking about this topic. Is it really worth it? I mean, why she's talking about this topic? And it's crazy. No, no, no. And people like started questioning, and they're like, they don't tell you, but then you look at their eyes and you feel that kind of the vibe from that. I hope it makes sense what I'm trying to tell you. And I feel weird in the beginning, but now I don't care, because I know if I wanted to go in this field, if I wanted to be who I am on this planet Earth, I got to focus on me, not other people, what they are thinking about me. And this is the number one thing. If you are coming this content, it's like a beginning for you, or you're just learning about things, some of the things will be very vague and very, very weird for you, because you're like, you gotta be realistic, you gotta be practical, you gotta pay your bills, you don't need to be delusional, unrealistic. For you it will be like, what she is talking about. This is totally a new concept for me. And then you started learning more about the psychic content or manifestation or witchcraft, magic, anything of these content. You would feel weird in the beginning, and that's okay. But you gotta listen to yourself. Because I know I've seen this thing, when the people came across such content, it's very hard for such people to have a shallow conversation with the other people, because they wanted to talk about these things, but they know that the other person may not be interested in these topics or may not be have the same beliefs or thoughts like they have. So it's very hard for them to have a shallow conversations with the people. Like, I have a very hard time having a shallow conversation with the people, because I can't talk about these things with everybody. The people were going to call me crazy. I don't care about they calling me crazy, but then I don't want to talk about these things to everybody who is not interested in these topics, because I want to keep them as a secret for only those people who know these things or want to know about it or interested in. I hope it makes sense. So sometimes you feel lonely in this route. You're like, okay, I'm awakened. I feel lonely. Everybody around me is like sleeping, but I'm the only one awakened. But you gotta understand that everybody has their own time and journey. So some people choose to awaken in this lifetime. Some people choose to awaken maybe next lifetime, or may not be. Every soul chooses when they want to enter into the manifestation, spirituality, believe in these things, who they are, the God creator of their reality, or they don't want to believe in. Every soul chooses it. So even if somebody is not choosing, it's not your job to convince them. And if they say something bad to you, you don't need to feel bad about it. You just like, okay, whatever, I don't care, because they don't know about this thing and they're not interested. So whatever they say doesn't really mean anything to me. So yeah, that's what I'm telling you guys. Do not give your time away, your energy, your power, your attention, focus to the people, what they're saying or thinking about you, the most important thing. And stop convincing people. You don't need to convince them, you don't need to please them, just be you. And when I say being you, I mean focusing on who you are, the core of who you are. Your truth, my truth, everybody's truth, focusing on that. We are not this body, we are not this thought, we are not this ego. We are not this reality or the characters that we are playing in the reality right now, or identity we are playing. No, we are the God. We are the creator of our own reality. So stay in that truth. You don't need to go out and tell the people that I'm psychic or I'm a manifestor or something like that. No. Just keep things to yourself until unless somebody comes and interested to talk about these, or wanted to learn from you or have a conversation or discussing about these things, then you can talk with such people. But then you don't have to go openly out and sitting in the restaurant and talking with every other people that comes and talking about these things. You don't have to do that. Stop wasting your time and energy and focus on these things, trying to convince the people and focusing too much on what somebody else is thinking about you. Because this will actually going to divert your power, because the power is within you. Outside doesn't have the power. It's just that you give the power. It seems like it's powerful, but that it doesn't have the power. If you stop giving them your power, if you stop giving your attention, focus, energy, that will going to dissolve slowly. But when you give your power, it stays in your 3D. So you stop giving your power, take within back and focus on creating the world that you want to create. Whether you want to be a psychic, witch, or whatever you want to be, or whatever you enjoy doing, whatever you want to create in your life, focus on that and create that. Rest, everything will figured out by the universe. That's what I can say, because universe knows where you are. So stop thinking too much about what somebody else is thinking about you. Hopefully you find it useful. Let me know, share your experience. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'll see you the next time. Bye guys.